What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sota Pod YouTube channel for yet another hockey watch party. Not that there's much on the line in this game. This one is truly an exhibition game. We got Sweden taking on the US of A. Canada beat the Finns in what turned into yet another nail biter at the end of that game. But anyways, Canada beat the Finns, setting up the rematch on Thursday in the tournament final. But alas, we have one more game here today that we're covering. USA versus Sweden. Both these teams lineup changes. Matthews being sat out due to upper body soreness. Matthew Tkachuk out. I believe there was one other American out as well. They were just going through the lineups in the broadcast. And then on the Sweden side, apparently there's a flu going through their locker room. So guys are just trying to get to the rink, sort of thing, and stay healthy for this one. So Sweden playing for pride, playing for that. I don't even want to say bronze here because it's just a four-team tournament. But they're gonna put on a show tonight here, and I imagine that they may be playing at 80% because they're fighting the flu, but they'll still want to put on a good show here because they did have an outstanding first game against Canada despite not getting the win. Smash that like button if you haven't already, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We drop podcast clips every single day, full podcast episodes, live streams. We just wrapped up. I didn't, but the boys, Hoppy and Z, just wrapped up an episode of Judd's Buds, so shout out to everyone who was hanging out with them. And if you're new to the streams that I host here, we simply do play-by-play commentary, reaction, and of course live interaction with all you amazing folks in the chat. Johnny, this is YouTube, my man. You're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. What's up, Hernan? Good to see you. Good to see you. What's up, Hockey from Home? Creepy Colors. Scott, good to see you too, buddy. Hey, what's up, RJ? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How's it going, RJ? Hernan, how you been doing, buddy? How you been doing? You been enjoying this hockey tournament? You've been enjoying the fights? I know there's a lot of boxing, which you dig last weekend as well. So let's just take a look at the lineups here. Now, these are not always 100% accurate, but they do update live, which is cool. But anyways, Ottinger in net tonight. Eichel, Tkachuk, that is of the Brady variety. Kreider in the lineup. Gensel, Miller, Hughes. Nelson, Larkin, and Boldy. Then Kyle Connor, and Trocheck? Don't know who the third. Oh, right, they're playing down a man. That's what it is. The United States is playing actually down a player. So someone's going to be double shifting. And on the Swedish side, we got Nylander, Carlson, Bratt, Brody, and Hedman. Again, a wild, heavy night, obviously. Gustafsson not in tonight. He's battling the flu. But Boldy, Brodin, Eriksson Ek, Brock Faber on the American side. All right, Pettersson, Lindholm, Forsberg. Maybe just this flash score is not updating right now. But anyways, you get an idea. You get an idea of who's in and out of the lineup there. Yeah, I know. I saw that Hockey from Home. Capo Caco is not Swedish. Hockey from Home. All right. So we still got I don't know, probably like 10 more minutes till puck drop, I imagine. Lights are dimmed in the arena right now. I'm watching Sportsnet feed and the panel's still going off. Teeing off this one. Capo Caco is Finnish, Hockey from Home. Capo Caco is from Finland. But anyways, let me know your guys' score prediction in the live chat here. Again, this one's kind of an interesting one. Now, if Canada and Finland would have gone to overtime, then this game would have been a little bit more interesting because maybe there was talks that maybe the Americans really don't go even less all out than what they're even icing here tonight. Look, I'm sure Matthews isn't 100%. That's why they're like, look, we don't even need you in this one. Same with Matthew Tkachuk. All right. Skaters are about to take the ice, and then we'll have the national anthems. But yeah, let me know your predictions in the live chat for this one, guys. I'm going to say, especially given that it's Urson in net, because Allmark was sick tonight as well for Sweden. I'm going to say a 5-2 USA victory. Hey, what's up, Reaper Jones? By the way, I found out the Georgia Bulldogs got a college hockey team. USA 2, Sweden 1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 4-3 OT, the United States. Damn, hockey from home. Keyshawn Davis is looking like the next pay-per-view star. He can just do everything. Davis for Davis is my number one on my list for fights I want to watch. A little boxing talk. I dig it. I dig it. He looked good. He looked really good, actually. 3-2 Sweden, says Scott Young. I mean, they would, because Sweden hasn't won a game yet. They lost in overtime twice now. So they technically have 2 points in this little tournament. The U.S. with what, 5? 6? No, the U.S. with 6. They won 2 games, 3 points a game. Canada's with 5, that's right. I was working. I was at work hockey from home. That would have been a fun one to stream. I was listening to it. I was just listening to the broadcast audio-wise, and then just like, then just tweeting the highlights. But, you know, Canada goes up 3, then the Jordan Binnington special, ladies and gentlemen. The Jordan Binnington special. Fourth round body shot KO's crazy work for your first championship fight. Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Faber, Kachuk, and someone else I don't know. Well, you know, we have no hockey expert here. Yeah, well, I mean, this is the first time they've ever done this Four Nations thing in place of the All-Star game, and I think they've solved the All-Star game issue, because this is like some of the most competitive hockey that I've seen since like World Juniors or like Stanley Cup, right? Obviously Olympics, but that's a different animal. Which, God, is making me so much more excited for the Olympics in a year and a half. Which, yeah, we won't be able to see fights under the IHF, which I'm the fight guy. I know, but still, it's just, there's just something different when best on best are playing each other. And Olympic gold medals on the line versus the World Cup of hockey. And this is just interesting because it's guys who play against each other all the time. Now, I know when NHL players are going to go back to the Olympics, it's going to be something similar. And, you know, until you play Slovakia, Czech, even Russia, who have some KHL guys there. There's just a different vibe to this one, which is cool. And it's not like players are, like I said, holding back at all. I mean, there's legit injuries amongst, I'm pretty sure, all the teams. Yes, hockey from home, yes. All right, so Swedish national anthem. Then Star Spangled Banner will be performed here, and then we'll get to puck drop. Thanks to those, has Matthews even gone to play Austin? I believe so. Let's see here. I think it's just an assist. Oh yeah, he's not on the... I can't even see it right now because he's not on them. Like, why can't I find it? He's not like... Doesn't have a ton of points. Yeah, I'm like looking. What does he have? 1 assist. Okay, I knew he was. I knew he was on 1 because I read the tail the. Oh, I was gonna say tail the tape. I read the box score of one of the games. I did see an assist there. I'm guessing you were pitching a tent the first 9 seconds of the Canada versus US games. I was watching UFC actually. I was watching UFC on Saturday, but the chat was telling me. I ended up watching that game. So thank God Cannoneer got it done before the 5th. So I think I started about halfway through the 2nd period. Yeah, I did answer you, Hockey from Home. I said yes. Dude, yeah, that was an awesome video. That was an awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, so 5-2 is what I said, guys. For the United States, 3-2 Sweden, 4-3 OT USA, USA 2-1 Sweden. By the way, vote in the poll question again here, guys. Vote in the poll question again here. Well, actually, hold on. I got to redo the poll question. I definitely put that up way too early here today. Let's get a new one up. Let's get a new one. The Swedish knows not to boo them. Yeah, I feel like I gave an answer to that last stream. I personally wouldn't boo, but again, when a country wants to annex yours, and they're also rivals in hockey, and they're playing a game when it's all going down, if a bigger country was doing that to the US of A, you guys would boo too. That's all I'm saying. Maybe not you personally, like I wouldn't do it personally, but like the collective would boo too, so. Not thrilled, definitely don't hate it. Sort of thing. I roll my eyes. See you later, Hockey from Home. See you later. Imagine almost blowing a 4-0 league. Pathetic thing. Sid is not a pathetic thing. Got the job done. Take a hit. Make a play. And apparently he's injured. He's the oldest team in the tournament and apparently nursing something. That would be Scott. I know he is a hockey fan. Big Rangers fan. I think back in like the early 2000s, he used to go to a lot of the games. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Puck is about to drop here. Final game for Sweden, because win or lose, they ain't advancing. Win or lose, they ain't advancing. They're playing for pride. And let's see if they can make a statement in their last game. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. When I was walking around in Montreal before the game, I saw Team Canada jersey with Trump on the back and 50. Yeah, no, I saw. I've been seeing that one on Twitter make the rounds. All right, here comes Sweden. Pass right in front of the net, but could not hold on to it. Puck deflecting. Sweden with an early barrage of shots here. That doesn't get through. Bounces up front, but the Americans get it up the right side. And a shot. Right pad save. Goal by the Americans. Right pad save. A rebound. And USA opens up the scoring early. Damn. First shot of the game. Well, I guess it was technically the second shot. It was off the rebound. Damn, Chris Kreider too. First game. Comes into the lineup and gets this goal. Let's go. Yep, that was off the pad. No one covering him there. And number 20, Chris Kreider, opens up the scoring for the Americans and this game. Whoop. Yep, not there in time. Can't blame the goaltender on that one, though. He made the initial save. 19-19. Puck in the Swedish zone. They're just trying to get it out here. Nice little pass up the left side. Sweden slows things down at the wall. Shot. That goes right to the net. Oh, and a big hit by the Americans. Puck still in Team USA zone, but that trickles out to center. Sweden holds their line, but both teams are going to go for a change. Hedman not wasting any time as he leads his puck up around the boards it goes. 18 minutes and 14, and the Americans get it past the Swedes, but... Oh! Swede got it back, but only for a moment. Americans get it back. Shot! Nice save. That goes right. Americans hold the line. Oh, he was in Boston as well? Oh, no. Yeah. I saw he was there. I saw he was there. Pierre was there. There's a bunch of celebrities there, too. 1808. Sweden just finished their change. USA up the left side, but it's a one-on-one battle on the board. USA tried to send it around the boards, but Sweden got it back, but just pressure by the Americans. They're forcing the Swedes to have to reset over and over again. 1746. Yeah, George St. Pierre was there too. Sweden dumps this one in. 1736. That's so cool you got to go there, though, Isaiah. I mean, sucks Canada lost, but like the vibe must have just been unbelievable. 1726 on the clock. Sweden has it, but unable to make a play, in the U.S. bulldozers. Another one! Damn! 2 hits by the Americans, just bulldozing the Swedes out there. And I said this, I think it was last week, that Canada was out-muscling the Swedes. And it's not like Canada has the most physical team in the tournament. Outside, it's easily the United States, obviously. And Canada was seeming like they were bullying Sweden for a good portion of that game. Sweden kind of started to give it back to them a little bit in the third. But so far, the Americans, man, Brady Tkachuk, I mean, 1 hit there. Another hit there. Dude, this guy, just a bowling ball out there. And the Swedes are the pins. Face off to the right of Ottinger. The Americans win it. And Sweden holds the zone. Sweden tried to just throw it in, but no one there to pick it up. Sweden able to keep it in the zone again, but the Americans get it back past the center. Puck goes up through center, but not a clean pass up front to the forward. Puck's going to trickle back down to the American zone. Defense have it. They're playing it up the left side. Looking for a cross-ice place, but that bounces off the walls. Americans get it up the center. No one there for reinforcements, but they're able to set up. Swedes just out of sync here earlier. Maybe they're all just sick. 16-18. Americans breaking out again. Sweden starting to be a little bit more aggressive. Americans can't get it into the Swedish zone. Sweden battling in the neutral zone. They get it to the U.S. zone, but can't hold on to it, can't set anything up. Battling at that blue line. Puck trickles cross ice up, shot! And that goes right and wide on Sweden. Sweden trying to get this puck out. They send it up the right side, neutral zone. They evade a big hit by the Americans, and they're going to change. USA dumps this puck in. And there's a hit by Forsling on the Swede side. Trocheck for the Americans sends it back to the blue line. Held in, top of the circle. Skating in! And what a save by Sweden! Weaving through the defense was Vrensky. Damn! And that doesn't get through the 5-hole on Erson. Erson? Damn. Erson. Smash that like button if you guys haven't already. Let's try to get to 20 on the video. Let's try to get to 20. 15-18. And a shot by Sweden at the circle. And a nice save by Ottinger. All right, are we going to our first TV timeout here? All right, I need to get another poll question up. $15-11 on the clock, so 5 minutes into this first period. This faceoff's going to come to the left of Jake Ottinger. Oh, I have an idea for a poll question. Okay. Face-off coming up. And the Swedes lose it. Battling on the right side in the neutral zone. And the Americans keep possession, but they weren't or they were unable to move forward much at all. Nice nifty pass into the Sweden zone. And blowing a tire on the left side of the Swedish net was Brady Tkachuk. He seems to be okay. Net dislodges, so we're going to have a face-off to the left of Ersson. All right, poll question going up here. After watching what we've seen from the Four Nations, are you more excited for the next Four Nations or the Olympics? All right, it's live now. Puck in the corner. USA with it back to the blue line. Shot! That gets through. Saved by Ersson. And somehow that puck bounces to the right and Sweden gets it back. Yo, what's up, Sean? Very, very close opportunity there. And looks like we're going to have offside. Woo! There we go. Sorry it took so long. I'm sure they want to spread it out for TV, but usually the last game of the round robins are played simultaneously to avoid the chance of a top seed throwing a game to get an easier opponent later. Got you, got you. 14-16. How's it going, Sean? Good to see you. Good to see you. And puck goes back into the neutral zone. Looks like both teams are going to change. But yeah, upon seeing what the Four Nations product offered, because I think a lot of us were iffy about it, just slapped in the middle of the season, especially with how atrocious that World Cup was a few years ago, before the preseason, an absolute trash event. But anyways, this has been the complete opposite. This is like, not necessarily this game, but this is like high level, high intensity stuff. So I ask you, upon seeing the product, are you more excited for the Olympics with the NHL players returning, or are you more excited for Four Nations because you can friggin' fight under the NHL governance? I don't think Team USA would just let Sweden win had Canada game gone to OT, but it's still a risk. I don't think so either, but yeah, Hoppy brought that up when I was talking to him earlier today as well. 13-11 on the clock. That's just like not what hockey players do either, and hockey programs do. It's less strategic like that and just like win, win, win. 12:58 shot. I mean, unless you're Buffalo trying to get Connor McDavid, and Neuver goes on a 4-game win streak and you trade him, or whatever the hell it was. 12:44. The Americans send it up the left side. Sweden's starting to be a little bit more aggressive now, as we near the halfway mark. Of this first period. Just sucks that 3 most recent Olympics have been in Asia and Europe, so times of the games are super late early. Yeah, I watch Japanese MMA every weekend, so I don't care about sleep. So I really could care less if it's morning, noon, night, or 2 or like 3 a.m. You know, like morning, normal people morning, versus like early morning. I'm watching regardless. So that doesn't bug me at all. But I am definitely in the minority there. I'm the psycho. All right, finally going to our first TV timeout, and the Americans lead the Swedes on their second shot, but kind of first rush, first opportunity there. First save was made by Ersson, the Swedish goaltender. Pad save, trickled to his right, or bounced off his right pad, and it was a very nice goal for Kreider. The Winter Olympics are way more entertaining than the summer, faster, more interesting sports. Yes, I always buy into the Winter Olympics way more than the Summer Olympics, personally. Like, and I'll watch sports that I really don't ever watch unless it's Olympics. And I know people say that about the summer too, but like, Are we really, I mean, other than like the running stuff and maybe some swimming stuff in the summer, I don't know. Like when it comes to the Winter Olympics, I'm way more intrigued with like everything. I now always have this memory of my dad watching the two-man luge for the first time. Oh man, he hysterically belly laughed. What? Asking, what the fuck is this? Oh, I'm having fun with the Four Nations tournament. I'm still excited for America to win gold at the Winter Olympics. That and to wash the taste of last year's Olympics. Yeah, well, the last time NHL players were allowed at the Olympics was Sochi, which TJ Oshie had his moment, but Canada ended up winning the gold. Sweden and Canada for gold in that one, if I'm not mistaken, because that was an early one too. That was like a 3 or 4 a.m. start. I remember I was in college. I think first year, second year. Although I took 2 years. Yeah, 2 years before I even went to school, between high school and college. But yeah, I was in first year college. It was either first or second year. And I remember it doesn't snow where I went to college. It snows rarely. And Canada won, the sun rose, and it started snowing. So we all thought that was pretty cool. I was talking about Beijing in the Winter Olympics. Right, yeah. Yeah, I was very much not invested in the hockey the last 2 Olympics without NHL players. Especially when like the Olympic athletes of Russia were just going to ramsack the competition, which they did. And Sweden is getting a penalty for delay of game. Damn. They just can't catch a break. They just can't catch a break to start off this period. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook or X/Twitter, come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, join our live chat here. All right, power play for the Americans. They win the face-off. Back at the blue line, left side. Cross-ice pass, shot! Blocked, that didn't get through to the netminder. Right side again, shot, looking for the tip! Puck still loose! Sweden trying to send it around the net, around the boards. They can't, but they end up sending it down the ice regardless. 1:38 remaining in the American power play, which already looking dangerous on. USA entering the zone. USA getting that puck back. Sweden, though, with a nice hit, separated the man from the puck. Ekholm end up sending that one down the ice. Here comes Zach Werenski again. He drops it back through center. Hughes back to the line, right side, moving the puck well here on this power player. The Americans. Jake Gensel. Werenski, left side, shot! Rebound in front of the net. Sweden finds it, sends it down the length of the ice. Hey, aggressive power play here. Good puck movement by the Americans, but Sweden's doing a good job on their PK as well. And they got fresh legs back on the ice. Oh, big hit by Sweden. But the Americans still have it. Here come the Americans around the net, right side. Sweden battling on the boards, and they send this back down. 20 seconds remain on the power play. One more rush. Adam Fox coming up center. He drops it back. Sweden, 3-player line, holding the line. 5 seconds remain for the power play. USA, can they get one more shot off? Oh! Penalty on the Americans. Right when Lindholm returned to the ice, USA takes their first penalty. Yep. Boldy on Ekholm, cross-checked him, and Ekholm wasn't even near the puck. So that's going to be Sweden's first power play. Rough watching the games on the West Coast, 11-hour time difference. Looks like the gold medal game would have been at 5 a.m. for you if the wiki article is correct. Oh, okay. Well, that's not as bad as I remember. Maybe I had to get up at 3 or like 4 because I went to my buddy's house to watch it. I remember he was like, he was like on the other side of town. So that's probably what it was. Yeah, all my friends had houses or apartments like near school, except for the house that me and a few of my friends rented, which was downtown. So a lot of people would stay at our place on the weekends because it was easier than going all the across town near the university in Victoria. But having said that, whenever we wanted to be social with 80% of our friend group, we had to find our way across town. Which I'll say, it ain't no Minneapolis to St. Paul trek, but but it was literally opposite ends of town. All right, TV time out here, guys, and Sweden's gonna try to get some life back into their group here, as it's been tough sledding to start off. Americans scoring very, very early. Essentially their first shot. It wasn't their first shot because there was a rebound off the first shot, but still. Sweden did kill off the Americans' power play, which they looked damn good doing so. A few little threats there early, and the goalie was on his point. Rebound control, I mean, not the greatest so far, but man, this is his first game in. I kind of hate how U.S. teams kind of throw in the towel when they make the bronze medal games. Yeah, whereas like Europe still like goes ham, right? Because they're like, whatever. If we leave with bronze, yeah, we lost the game. Or sorry, if we leave with silver or bronze, we're happy. Obviously, in the moment, they're not happy for silver. But I mean, I was just watching that Becoming Wild on Murat, and the way his dad talked about the silver medal, even though they lost to Canada, was still like, you know, and then that's Russia, right? Like, you got to imagine, like, you know, the Sweden, Finland, shoot, even some of those, even Slovakia and Czech, I'm sure, like, playing for bronze, they'd go, like, all out. Yeah, Finland beat US 5-0 that year. 9 minutes and 57 seconds on the clock as we continue this first period. Sweden on the power play. Love how Sweden was the only one who didn't fuck with their jerseys at all. And Sean was, you're the one who always points that out as well. Doesn't matter what tournament, they ain't messing with them. It's beautiful. And Sweden loses the puck upon entry, and they're gonna have to skate back. 1:36 remaining on the power play. Erik Karlsson. He drops it back. Brat Nylander. Right side, back to the blue line. Karlsson. Right wall. Short pass down low. Nice save by Ottinger. Karlsson keeps it in the zone. Battling with Brock Nelson, and Brock Nelson gets it and sends it down the ice. I mean, maybe the blue is a little bit brighter, but like, what I'm saying is like, US is quite a bit different. Canada's is quite a bit different. Finland's is quite a bit different. I don't like the text on US or the Finns, to be honest. And Sweden kept it theirs as close as the NHL allowed Sweden to keep it. And I'm sure they had to maybe change them up a little bit because of, I don't know, maybe Hockey Sweden. I don't know, but what's up, Brian? I'm well, if you're in the United States, I believe it's on TNT or NHL Network. If you're in Canada, it's on Sportsnet. Up the left side. Shot. That bounces up. Good to see you, by the way, Brian. Come over to the YouTube chat over here, by the way. And if you still need some help, I'll help you out. I guess they get pissed if you make them wear their blue jerseys. Woo. Yeah, that bounced up. There's a nice shot, though, by... Is that Forsberg who shot it there? Pettersson taking the face-off against Eichel. Pettersson wins the face-off. It's on TNT and streaming on Max. Oh, interesting. 8:33. Another face-off. And Eichel comes away with this one. The Americans tried to send it around the boards, but Sweden keeps it in their zone. By the way, everybody watching on Twitter/X or Facebook, come over to YouTube, help grow our community here, and join our live chat as it's buzzing. Shot from the blue line from Hedman. That bounces left and wide. Fighting for it behind the net. Puck is knocked free up the right side to Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel sends it the length of the ice. 5 seconds on the power play remaining in Sweden. Well, Hedman blows a tire behind the net. And that is it for the Sweden power play. Both teams going 0 for 1 on special teams. 7:44 remaining. Sweden has it in their own zone. They send it up center. Up to the right side. They leave it in. Behind the American zone. They bat it up and around. Neutral zone. USA with some speed. Renski sends it around, and Sweden ends up getting it on the right side. Sweden making a change. But the Americans nearly coughed it up. And Larkin almost got his pocket pick twice. He just sends it in. Send Pettersson home to cry in his gigantic pillow. 6:54. Up the left side. It's crazy because when Pettersson was like a string bean in his first season, he was actually like, he played a lot tougher than he plays now. Freaking Mike Matheson freaking WWE slammed him. And he still came back and was producing. 6:27. Sweden gets the puck back right side. Shot tipped. And Sweden scores! A tip right in front of the net. And Nyquist with the goal. Former Minnesota Wild player and half the league at this point. But still, Gustav Nyquist ties it up here with a tip in front of the net. And we have a game, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Let's watch here. So Carlson shot, yeah, deflected by Gustafsson. And it looked like it was like right under the right shoulder, maybe? Yeah, under the right shoulder is where it trickled in. Well, there we go. We got a tie game. Sweden scores is 1-1. Things are getting interesting. 6:17. And the Americans have it behind the Swedish goaltender. USA has it in the corner. They send it back around. USA just tries to send it in front of the net now, but Hedman able to grab it. Sweden into the neutral zone. Lucas Raymond pass to the left side. Shot. That goes off a stick and up and out of play. Whew. Under 6 minutes to go in the first period. Going back to a TV timeout here. Damn. Well, we have a game, guys. We have a game where the Americans were bullying the Swedes early in the first period. Things are starting to level out now. Again, smash that like button, guys. We're trying to get to 20 likes on the stream. 20 likes on the stream. I know we can do it. Hey, if you're watching on Twitter, X, or Facebook, come over to YouTube. Join our community here. Join our live chat here. We'd really appreciate it. The only reason we're streaming to YouTube or to Twitter and Facebook is to invite all you over to YouTube. We will be covering some more Four Nations. We will be covering the final game on Thursday. And I know it's been slow. I know January I haven't done any wild streams. I was just super busy working actually on site all January, which things have slowed down there, and I'm kind of just working more so from home now, doing more editing stuff. So I will have more time to fit in some wild streams this last stretch of the season. And then, you know, when playoff comes around, with the Wild in it, hopefully going all the way. Canucks in it, hopefully also going all the way. I'll be covering a lot of games during the playoffs as well. So, and if you dig my vibe here and you're also a fan of combat sports like Creepy Colors, Reaper Jones, Scott, even Sean, those are guys who jump back and forth across both of the channels, City Life and SotaPod. But yeah, appreciate you guys. And since I continue to rag the puck here, this channel, if you guys are new to the channel, not only do we cover, you know, live international games and wild games and things like that, we also post full episodes of our podcast, live streams, and more every single day on this channel. One of the most recent pieces of content that we've released was actually a little collaboration with Brixworth Beer Co. That is right, Brixworth, 2 locations in the Twin Cities now, and they rolled out the red carpet for us. We learned a lot about pizza. We learned a lot about wings, how they do it, a lot about their beer. But our second piece of content that we do with them is going to be a little bit more beer focused as well. But yeah, check out some of the content here. It is on the channel, so if, you know, when we're done with this game or in between periods, you can also check it out. Pizza reviews, beer reviews, and we mix in a little hockey as well. Most of us are also Rush Hour supporters too. I'm a boxing fan first. There you go. There you go. He was built like a lollipop. 5:35. Close call at the line there, and the Americans are going to change again. Final 5 minutes of this first period, ladies and gentlemen, which was going more so in the Americans' favor throughout most of this period, to be perfectly honest. Big penalty kill by Sweden. Couldn't capitalize on their own power play literally a second later after they killed off theirs, but looked really good after and tied this up. Shots 10-7 in favor of the Americans. Sweden battling in the corner. I mean, this is kind of how it was against Canada too. Sweden, realistically, for the first 15 minutes of the game, were playing kind of like this, and then started to pick things up late in the first period, better in the second, and then in the third period, Sweden was, I would say, almost the better team against Canada anyways. 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Here comes Erik Karlsson up the right side. Americans are able to get the puck back at the blue line. Then they tried to make a cross-ice pass, and that's picked away by Sweden. Sweden, nice forechecking here as they just got that puck from the American defender while he was in the corner, but unable to make a play. And here comes Team USA. Left side, shot, rebound. No one there for it. Poked into the neutral zone by Sweden, and USA is going to calm things down and reset. Pass through the center. That doesn't line, but Gensel, the only one in the zone, waiting for reinforcements, and here they come. Jay Gensel back to the blue line, top of the circle, shot! Beautiful save by Aarons. Whew, he saw that one, though. He had that clear lane, no screen whatsoever. If headbutts were legal, Pettersson would be the most feared player in the NHL. It is crazy how big of a head he has. That's why, I mean, everyone in Vancouver calls him the Alien. EP40, the Alien. All right, 4 minutes. And the faceoff won by Team USA. Kyle Connor sends it back to the blue line. Back up the right side. Battling in the corner. Sweden with the puck. Sends the puck cross ice. Ends up on Sweden's stick on the left side. Pass incomplete, but Sweden still has it. Trying to set up a short shot to the right of Hellebuck. Or sorry, of Ottinger. And that did not go down, and the United States have it now. Kyle Connor up the left with speed, sends it in the right side. Built like Trevor from Trailer Park Boys. 3:28. Hedman to Raymond. And here comes Jonas Brodin. Brodin sends it up off Carlson's stick. Leo Carlson. And a nice hit by the Americans, but Sweden's still with it. And Sweden plays it in behind the net, and William Nylander gets it. Ekholm right in front, tries to drop for someone in the slot. Backhand shot in front. Where's the puck? And the puck trickles into the corner, and USA has it. Whoo, Kreider sends that up the left side, and he goes for a change. Sweden having issues making their pass out of their zone, and the Americans with the puck now, then blowing a tire was USA in the corner. Man, pockets being picked left, right, and center. Turnover galore by both of these players, or both of these teams right now. Puck back in the Swedish zone, battling in the corner. Puck trickles behind the net, and USA trying to just bat that in front. They still have it. Back to the blue line. Left side. Shot, and that goes right on the stick of a Swede, looking to slow things down. Pettersson versus Miller. We haven't seen anything on the ice just yet. I'm more devastated that shit fell apart in Vancouver than Canada losing to the Americans. Fucking 200-point players just cannot fucking figure it out, dude. 148. And Canucks getting cents on the dollar. Sorry, getting Canadian dollars on the US dollar. In return. 1 minute 35 seconds. In this first period. USA, left side, top of the circle, shot! Screened as well. And Sweden was still able to make that save. US buzzing though. Jack Hughes, the shot. Top of the circle as well. And Aaron's able to read that one and make that save. Some pushing and shoving in front of the net now. And no Brady Tkachuk involved. Wow. Man. Yeah, Lucas Raymond. That was a beautiful setup. Oh, no one there to get that in front. But yeah, no, Sweden. They were pressing. They were pressing. All right. Minute 20 remaining in this first period. Shots 11-7 for the Americans. Face off to the right of Aaron's, the Swedish netminder. Sweden wins it, sends it up the right side. That goes up into the American zone and actually covered up by Jake Ottinger. Now we're going to face off to the left of Jake Ottinger. Team sports are weird like that. On paper, Vancouver Nationals should be leading the pack. Well, technically, Vancouver had a ton of injuries to start the season, so like I understand why they dug themselves a hole. What I don't understand is the guys who weren't injured not producing. Nashville, I don't get, but yeah, no. Team sports are all about chemistry, especially a team sport where one person can't still take it. Like basketball is a team sport, but let's be honest, like one person can help take over a game. Whereas in hockey, one piece can help a lot. Like a goalie can definitely help steal a game, but at the end of the day, it's still like the goalie can't do everything. 1 minute on the clock, and here comes the Swede. Nice pass. The center shot! Oh! Oh! Goal! Oh my God! What a shot! Upstairs snipe show! Holy shit. What a snipe, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And there's some momentum going into the second period. Sheesh. No one on him. That Nylander. Oh, what a snipe. What a snipe. Left side just evaded the glove. Brat. Jesper Bratt, man. Sheesh. All right. And that's your New Jersey boy, Reaper Jones. Oh, and it looks like Vincent Trocheck has gone to the dressing room early, potentially nursing something. 42 seconds, and Sweden is up 2-1 in this one. 35 seconds remaining in the first period. Which, oh, how the tables have turned. USA dominating the first 15 minutes of this period, up a goal, bullying Sweden. And Sweden scoring 2 quick ones here in the last 5 minutes of the first. USA with it. They're going to tip it up and into the Sweden zone. And Sweden gets it, sends it back down. 6 minutes on the clock. And yeah, not enough time for another rush. And United States are just going to wait this one out. That is it for the first period. And Sweden, surprisingly enough, leading this one 2-1. Both goals coming in the final 5 minutes of the period. Wow. All right, as we go over things here, Chris Kreider opened up the scoring. Rowensky with a great drive, shot, rebound on the right pad of the Swedish netminder. Chris Kreider putting away the rebound. Jack Eichel with the assist. Rowensky, Chris Kreider with the goal. Sweden, like I said, then 13:39 on the clock. First goal 35 seconds in. Second goal 13:39. Gustav Nyquist from Erik Karlsson and Victor Arvidsson. And then Jesper Bratt right at the end, final minute from William Nylander. Beautiful little short pass. He's right in the slot and puts that one home. Other stats from this first period, guys. 8 shots on net for Sweden, 11 for the United States. The United States are dominating the face-off dot right now, 68%. Both teams are 0 for 1 on their power play. 10 hits for the Americans, only 2 for the Swedes. Sweden has blocked 5 shots. The Americans have only blocked 2, and each team is giving away the puck a lot. Actually, 5 giveaways for Sweden, 7 for the Americans, and that was kind of evident in that last final stretch as well, where the pucks were bouncing everywhere. It seemed. Don't push the U.S. out. I know they got something up next period. Oh yeah, I mean, this is hockey. Momentum, as we've already seen, can swing. So I'm definitely not counting them out, and I still think that they're the favorite in this game. Mind you, they are just a little decimated, especially if if Trocheck is out, then like the bench is just going to be short for this one. But again, the game it matters, but it doesn't matter, because even if the United States lose, they're still facing Canada. Sweden can't make up enough points to play the United States in the final. Rowensky has looked really good. Because what? Sweden has 2 points. Well, I guess they could tie Canada if they win this one flat out, right? But I don't know. What's the tiebreaker, chat? What's the tiebreaker for this? So, because Canada has 5 points. The U.S. was 6. So if Sweden just outright wins this one in regulation, what's the tiebreaker then? Goals scored or something? Because everyone was said like this one doesn't matter, even win or lose. But anyways, my prediction was 5-2 for the Americans by the end of the game, and you know, Sweden scored there too. Can the Americans score 4 more? I certainly think that they can. We saw that earlier in this tournament. We saw that against Finland. Tournament. Very small tournament, but it's tournament nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, not much more than I already kind of covered, guys. I said that, yeah, Sweden started to get a little bit more physical in the last 5 minutes. Really started to turn things up in the last 5 minutes. I imagine that killing off that penalty was huge for them, and they just started to roll after that. I feel like it should be head-to-head since they all play each other. So what should we have? Canada should just be in the building right now, and if Sweden wins, Canada and Sweden just have to do a shootout for just to see who plays the Americans. A tired Sweden team and a cold Canada team. Just shoot up. Or they just send their biggest player out there, and they just fight at center ice, and the winner plays the Americans. That actually, I mean, people keep bitching and complaining about the shootout in the regular season. Fine, let's do a three round fight, a 3-round fight, center of the ice, 1 minute rounds, even 1 minute rounds. Ref determines who wins the round. I'm being totally serious too. Like, ref just points at the side that he thinks won. 1 minute rounds, and obviously if you get tackled down and you're on your back, you lose the fight. Or you get knocked the fuck out. But I think that would be way more entertaining than a shootout, personally. And I'm not a shootout hater. I'm like one of the few who like defend it. People saying, "Oh, I hate it, it's so gimmicky," or whatever. It's like, how else do you want games to end on TV broadcast? Like, that is the definitive way to end games. And I don't know. I still like seeing some dangles. Maybe restructuring the points system for how much like it's worth compared to an OT loss or sorry, an OT win and just a flat out win. Sure. I'm totally open to any changes like that, but like, man, people hate on the shootout so much. I get it in international tournaments. Trust me. Just like in like World Cup soccer, it has the final game has no place there, but you would have to employ at least one goon. Oh, exactly. Well, not even just one goon, just one fighter. Dude, I would say 90% of the goons in the National Hockey League right now, the goons, the guys who fight, can actually play. Now, I said 90%, okay? 90%. Not all of them. But like, look at Tom Wilson, for example. I don't know if that guy is a player or an enforcer. He's just both. He's just a big boy in 2025 playing. I don't know, every team doesn't have a Tom Wilson, but you know, like, look at the Minnesota Wild, for example. Like Foligno, he would be that guy, and he can play. Minnesota Wild's best goal scorer of all time, Ryan Reeves, right? He can play. I only say that's because when Kaprizov went out, what was it, last season or the year before, and Reeves scored his like only 2 goals ever. No, not ever, but but scored like 2 in like 3 games or something like that. And I was like, oh, what can't the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Reeves not do? Anyways, guys, I'm going to take a quick break here. I'm going to refill my drink. I encourage you guys to refill your snack bowl, refill your drink. I know it's Monday, or yeah, it is Monday. Jeez. I know it's Monday, so maybe too early in the week to crack a cold one, but I mean, it is freaking... You're still watching hockey in an evening, so whatever. Crack a cold one if you were thinking of doing that already. Who's the best fighter in the NHL right now? Right now? I mean, probably Revo still. I mean, he's got the most experience. He's definitely like far from his peak and his prime, both as a skater and fighter, but I would say that he's the one that any new fighter in the league or anyone who's been around for a little bit goes, okay, like, oh boy, gotta fight this guy. I would still say Revo. And what I love about Reeves is like he's one of the last guys that like the old school guys really still respect, right? Rempe they back, but I still think like, you know, he's new age guy. I mean, actually, no, they respect Rempe because he's just a fucking crazy psycho too. But like, there's other guys who fight who are like, I'm not saying like the old schools, they don't dislike Foligno, but they're not like, you're a goon, you're an enforcer. You are a hybrid, tough, you know, power forward who can fight. A middleweight, as they would say. But like, there's not many heavyweights in the league anymore. That Jekai, is that his name? The one in Montreal. He's pretty good too. And when him and Rempe fought, that was a lot of fun. And then another mainstay, I mean, shit, Tom Wilson, but like, he's not really a goon either. He's dirty, but he's a player. I feel like I'm missing. There's probably some other new blood, new young gun. God, I'd love to see Jake Middleton's brother, man. He's not in the NHL, he's an AHL guy, but every now and then he'll get some time. He's a savage, dude. He's fun to watch fight. Cause even like it's not even that like he's the best or toughest fighter. He's just a psycho out there. So he'll go down swinging. He'll get punched in the face, like flash knockout eyes, and like roll back, and he's still like autopilot swinging on the way down. Like once a year, I rewatched the Bugard versus Fedoruk fight, dude. Fights, yeah, plural. Yeah, dude, like I said, I had the honor and pleasure to watch Bugard his whole career, like in PG, in the WHL. Like I had a friend who had a Bugard jersey, a Prince George Cougars Bugard jersey. He was my friend's dad's favorite player on the team who had season tickets, and he'd bring us there all the time. So I remember him just kicking ass in the dub, man. And then that's one of the reasons why I watched a little bit of Wild hockey growing up as well, because I had no business or no reason to watch the Minnesota Wild, really. I mean, God, I don't know. There's a couple guys who like played with the Canucks who came through. But yeah, like there wasn't really a reason at that time for me. But he was one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites. And I remember watching him he was one of the first guys that I remember watching at the junior level and following him in the NHL. I mean, Dustin Byfuglien was another one. Couldn't stand the Blackhawks, hated that he was on the Blackhawks and beating up on the Canucks for so many years, and the Wild. But as soon as he got to Winnipeg, or I guess Atlanta, but then Winnipeg, I was like, all right, I'm a fucking Byfuglien fan again. Yeah, Byfuglien was an absolute menace in Prince George. Dude, that Prince George Cougars team, Chara left, okay? Zdeno Chara played there as well when I was growing up. Chara left, Dan Hanhus comes in, Bugard comes in, Byfuglien comes in. Shoot, there was a couple other guys who were on that Prince George Cougars team. Here, I'm gonna actually bring it up. Early 2000s. Love the old logo they had too. Who are some other notable names who played there when I was living there? I'm just quickly going through some of the rosters. Oh, I want to say, let's see. Blake Robson. Okay, Blake Robson played. Where did Willie Mitchell play? I want to say Willie Mitchell also played here, but I am probably wrong. Where did Willie Mitchell play his junior? Okay, he played BCHL, then Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Right, then he went Clarkson. That's right. He was just another Canucks and Wild player that I had in mind. Imagine Buff, Char, and Boog on the same team. They would have probably killed people. Yeah, Char was he's a little bit older than them, right? So he left before that crop came in, but yeah, dude. Absolutely wild. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. On the other side, we will be back for the second period. We will be back for more Sweden versus USA coverage here at the Four Nations Face-Off, the final round robin game, which doesn't matter, but maybe could matter if Sweden wins this one. Canada, I guess, still wins the tiebreaker. I don't know. Anyways, 2-1 for Sweden. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side for Puck Drop and this second period. Don't go anywhere. Smash that like button, vote in the poll question, and we will be right back.
People like, you're making a hef now? It's like last year, I'm like, yeah, that one's called the 11th hour. It's kind of just a cheeky play on that. We kind of release it later than most people towards the end of the summer. I wanted to kind of be in there in that cusp between summer and fall, and now with summers lasting longer and longer these days, I mean, we're in September and it's 80s, it's still a viable option.
Central Division team that I love to love, the Nashville Predators, of course. And we are back live here on the Sota Pod YouTube channel for more Four Nations face-off coverage here as the puck has just dropped in the second period. Sweden leading the Americans by just one goal, in which they scored in the final minute of the first period. If you're new to the channel, smash that like button and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook or X, come over to YouTube and hang out with us here in this chat. 19:33 on the clock, 30 seconds in, and a big hit by the Americans. USA able to keep this puck in the Sweden zone. And a big hit by Sweden returned on the US, but the US still have it. JT Miller battling for it in the corner. Great work by the Americans keeping this in the Sweden zone, man. Battling in the corner, battling behind the net, trying to set something up in that center lane. Back to the blue line. Miller trying to set somebody up in that center slot. Nobody there, and Sweden is going to change. Gensel with it. Up to Dylan Larkin up the left side. USA sends it around. Center picked apart by Sweden. USA brings it through the neutral zone. Nice little path to the net, but denied right at the tip of the crease. But they still hold that puck in the zone. Trying to dig that puck out from the corner. US gets it. Great energy, great pressure here by the Americans in the opening minutes of this second period. Oh, and instead of going for the shot on that left side, elects to pass cross crease. Goes a little too far back in front of the crease, unable to get that shot off, but the Americans have it to the blue line, top of the circle, shot, and that goes left and wide. Puck trickles out into the neutral zone, and I imagine the Americans are going to need a change. $17:30. U.S. Shot from the blue line, gloved down by Sweden. And Trocheck, okay, back on the bench. That's good, that's good. Oh, and some pushing and shoving here after the whistle. Then hits 11-3 for the U.S. Yeah, like the broadcast said, there's only been one scrum in this game, really. It's been physical, but not a lot has really boiled over after a whistle. God, Werenski's been having a great game. You even noticed that. Yeah, you said that too, Creepy Colors. I'm not sure what was said, but looks like Rasmus Dahlin said something. I feel like he could maybe be that like cheeky guy like Eck. Just kind of be like, kind of have a confused or just like apathetic look on his face, but chirping at the same time. Sweden up through center, checked, puck comes loose. And a good check by Sweden, able to keep this in. They have it at the blue line. Shot, that doesn't get through the lane. Nice passing by the Americans as they reset their breakout. Pressure by Sweden, though. As they get in front of that puck, the Americans are forced just to dump this in. 16:41, and here comes Erik Karlsson. Karlsson up the middle. Puck bounces into the American zone, and oh! What a hit and steal! What a hit and steal by Sweden! Back behind this American net, back to the blue line. Sweden bumblefucks it, but keeps it in. And a lead pass by the Americans, but whoo, that would have been a 2-on-0 if that hit its mark, but played by the Swedish goaltender, and that's going to go up the left side. Sweden now has a partial break, but good check by the Americans. Sweden still has it in their zone, holding at the line. Shot! That goes wide. Oh, it's actually going to go off the stick of Karlsson and go up and out of play. A little life there for the Swedes. Damn, Arvidsson, yeah, he was able to break that up there. And, oh, Noah Hannafin is taking a penalty, a hooking call. So, Sweden, for the second time tonight, is going on the power play. They were 0 for 1 on their first chance, much like the Americans were. And here we go. The Americans win the face-off, and they're going to send this out. Your cat's chilling in the lap, enjoying this game too. I love it. I love it. Sweden were able to keep that puck in. They have it. Right circle. Elias Pettersson loses it, but only for a moment. Able to keep it in the zone. Forsberg in the corner. Pettersson back on the wall to help him out. And Pettersson gives it up again, and that's going to send it down the ice. Not a good shift from my boy Elias Pettersson. 15-20. 1:15 on the clock and not even able to get into the American zone were the Swedes. Victor Hedman. Cross ice pass, and the Americans pick that off and they send it back in. 1 minute remaining, and Sweden has not been able to do anything here. All right, Sweden's over the line. Karlsson looking for that cross ice, unable to get it through, and the Americans send it down the length of the ice again. 38 seconds. Only a rush or two, or an opportunity or two left for the Swedes here. 30 seconds remaining. They get it across the line. Back to the blue line. Aggressive PK here by the United States. Basically force you to make a play. Oh, and that pass. Bumble fucked at the line. 10 seconds on the clock. This is going to be the last rush for Sweden on this power play. Eric Carlson sends it in. 3, 2, 1. Cold plunge tomorrow in Lake Minnetonka. I'm on site working tomorrow, so yeah, it's gonna be cold. We're jumping in Lake Minnetonka tomorrow. Yay! 1344. Oh, today was minus 14. Eichel up the middle, and he loses it. Left side. Sweden gets the puck broken up. Oh, turnover bouncing puck. Great save by Ottinger. Was kind of caught off guard there. Sweden still has it. Back to the blue line. Sweden shot. Saved. And on the ground is Arvidsson. And able to find that puck in front of him is Ottinger. But yeah, as much as I'd just love to stay inside tomorrow and just work, I gotta be in Mound at 9? 8:30 or 9? Then we're digging, I imagine over the weekend, the hole in the lake in which we plunge. It's probably frozen over again, so probably have to cut that tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's gonna be cold tomorrow. It's gonna be cold. They already canceled school. Wow. To cancel school in Minnesota, that's something. Because I think the only time I remember in elementary school was canceled in Canada was that they were like, was when there's like too much black ice that like straight up roads were closed. And if like the roads are closed, then it's like, okay, enough's enough. But I think that only happened once, and it was just like, yeah, it was just so slippery. I should text my client though and see like, have you seen the temperature tomorrow? Or you still want to jump in the lake? It's a wellness podcast, and what he does is he brings on guests. They do a sauna, and then they while they record the podcast. So as like the sauna's heating up, they'll do like the first segment as they're boiling hot and sweaty. They do the second segment, and then they do a cold plunge and kind of do a debrief about that. It's about the podcast is about pain management. But anyways, yeah, tomorrow's gonna be an interesting one. Hopefully the sun is shining though. Hopefully the sun is shining. All right. Oh, extended TV time out here as they're going to the panel as well. Chris Cuthbert has been calling the games pretty well, though, I'll say. I feel like an old man, but they wouldn't cancel school for shit in northern Minnesota. Yeah, I was like growing up in Prince George, man. Unless roads were closed and people could not drive, like the bus, I didn't need the bus. I lived close by. I would walk to freaking school 9 times out of 10. But if like the bus literally couldn't get the kids there, then they said, fuck it. There were days where like straight up like the school was open, but like no one was there and like nobody cared. I'm sure like attendance was like a nightmare, or they just wrote that day off as like an unofficial cancellation. But if like for kids who did make it, like the teachers were there. But that only happened a handful of times. 12:44 on the clock. Sweden unable to score on their power play, but still pressuring the Americans here. Shot. That goes right and wide. Nearing the halfway mark of this second period. Sweden with a shot. Nice save by Ottinger. Since my son has been in school, they cancel it all the time. Shot block! And a nice save by Earson. Shot of the blue line for the Americans goes left and wide. Oh, off the post! Cross ice pass by the Americans, left circle, off the post. Damn, beautiful seam pass. Even better shot. And Orensky, man, he's been everywhere tonight, flying. I guess when McDavid's not on the ice, Orensky, you can notice him a lot more as far as the speed goes, and a pass up front trying to push that in where the Americans in the slot, but unable to do so, but they keep this puck in. They backhand it back into the corner, losing it is Sweden, shot! That bounces to the right side. Sweden with it, just trying to get it out of their zone. Backhand up the boards. USA gets it, but losing a stick, and here comes Sweden. Lucky that he did not have the stick over the line, but losing it is Sweden. Battling at the neutral zone for possession. USA send it back into the Sweden zone. Nice forecheck by the Americans. Sweden gives it up right in the slot, and a shot saved by Earson. Oh, man. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty. Well, the ref has his arm up. Okay, never mind. No penalty, no penalty. 10:33. Puck deep in the American zone. Left corner. Puck trickles out. Now they battle behind the net. And USA gets it. Left side. Oh, Kyle Connors. Beautiful move, but getting it puck picked off just before he could get that shot off. Now here comes Sweden. With a little bit of space, Sweden shot. That goes right and wide. The American just try to clear that, but Sweden at the line. Sweden shot doesn't get through the lane. Sweden has it. Back of the blue line. Sweden tried to spring someone in the corner, but no one there. Losing in the corner was Sweden. 9:46. Sweden still has it. Puck just keeps going around. Back and forth behind the goaltender, corner to corner. Left side. Back to the line. Shot, and that just hits some bodies, bounces deep into the zone, but here comes Sweden again, back to the line, left side. And what's going on? Penalty? Slashing call on Sweden as they just got possession back in the American zone. Damn. Damn, USA going on the power play there. Wow. Little undisciplined, little undisciplined. All right, second power play for the Americans coming up next, guys. They're also, well, they're also unsuccessful on their power play in this game thus far. Just 0 for 1. Sweden 0 for 2, as we mentioned. But let's see if the Americans can gain back some momentum. Halt that little bit of steam that Sweden has had here with the power play goal. What's up, Andrew? How's it going, buddy? You excited for Thursday? Should be a lot of fun. The rematch. All right. Wait, what is this? Oh my god, I'm literally watching Pierre Polivier commercial. I was like tuning in and out of like what this commercial was. I'm watching Sportsnet, so it's Canadian. Sportsnet showing, okay. Hey, fair enough. If Pierre's gonna pay him, they're gonna run it. Respect. Oh, yeah, rematch indeed. Yeah, even if Sweden wins tonight, apparently Canada is gonna win the tiebreaker based on, I guess, regulation wins? But they only had one? I don't know, man. I saw the one you tagged me in when it was 1-1. I ended up watching the rest of the game after UFC, and it was like such a good game. Other than Canada losing, Andrew. It was such a good game. How are you enjoying this game? Okay. Okay, yeah, so... I mean, this is a deserving penalty, 100%. Forsberg just fucking whacks his opponent. Alright, here we go. 9 minutes on the clock. And the US have possession. Battling for it is Sweden. I agree, every game is insane and it's good. Yeah, this game has been a lot of fun too, Andrew, with nothing really on the line but pride. Eichel shot. That doesn't get through. Trickles around, and puck's going to actually go the length of the ice here, and Sweden's going to get a change. And here comes the Americans. Not even dropping back. Gensel, Rowensky on that left side. Puck trickles around the boards, but the U.S. keep it in. Jack Eichel with it in the corner. Sends it back to the blue line. The United States have set up. Eichel, top of the circle, shot! That goes off somebody, whether it's a netminder or a player, and goes right and wide. Back to the blue line. One-timer through the slot. Save. Trickles left. Americans have it. Back to the blue line. Right side. Rensky. Jack Eichel. Him and Rensky. Trade spots. Nylander tried to poke it out. Rensky. Top of the circle. Pass. To the corner. And Eichel with the one-timer left circle. And that's a save by Aarons. 19 seconds. Great puck movement by the Americans. Just weren't able to get that shot off. God damn, the post, man. The post has been the Swedes' friend here tonight. That's 2 posts. Again, guys, if you're watching on Facebook or X, come over to YouTube. Support this channel and community that we're growing here, the Sota Pod on YouTube. And don't forget to vote in our poll question as well. Upon seeing what the Four Nations product offers, are you more excited for next year's Four Nations? Or are you more excited for 2027's Olympic Winter Games? I'm glad that Canada won today. Yup. Me too, Andrew. They made it, I mean, in textbook Hockey Canada fashion, they made it a nail-biter when they shouldn't have needed to. But hey, put on a show. Sweden getting checked down low. Coughs up the puck, and the Americans get it back. Trying to break out, but Sweden holds the line. Neutral zone. USA. Big hit by Sweden. 6:50 remains in this second period. That's blown by. Sweden keeps it in. Blue line is going to change. And Sweden's going to get a couple extra bodies on the ice as they still keep the zone. Send it around the net. One-timer off a little pass just to get that puck away from his check. And Sweden in the slot. Shot from the circle. Blocked by Team USA. Sweden still has it. Right circle again. Shot. Looking for the rebound. They cannot poke it in. It's behind the net now. Sweden still has it. Blue line. Backhanding it in. Nice, Andrew. Wow. Man, Sweden honestly really turning it on this Second period. Coughing it up is the Americans. Sweden has it. Right side. Nylander. William Nylander around the net. Left side. Top of the circle. Shot! And that's going to be a save by Ottinger. Faceoff will come to the right of the young goaltender as we go to a TV timeout here. Yeah, Sweden really turning it on in the second period. Again, the Americans started off the period stronger, but as it's gone by, Sweden's kind of gotten a little bit more comfortable and kind of eased into it to the point where they're right there with shots. 19 for the Americans, 17 for the Swedes. I'd imagine offensive zone time, they're right up there as well. Face-offs, I mean, the Americans are still dominating the face-off by 20%. And as far as giveaways, I mean, the Americans are giving away the puck more now than even the Swedes, 14-7. Swedes starting to get a few more hits going, 14-9 now for the Americans, but I believe it was like 11-3 going into the period. Yo, what is up? Temp letter with the $5 donation. Are you serious? What's the best way to learn about hockey? Well, I mean, pick a team, first of all. I don't know where you're from, Temp letter, but I would say pick a team. It doesn't matter if it's at the junior level. It doesn't matter if it's an AHL team. It doesn't matter if it's an NHL team. Pick a team and just start keeping tabs on them. Start following them. And then if you start falling in love with the game as a whole outside of just your team, playing the beautiful game, then expand to maybe a league like the WHL, the NHL, the LNAH, if you can find a broadcast for that one. And then just, you'll fall in love with it. You'll fall in love with it for sure. Thank you so much for the $5 donation, Temp letter. You are far too kind. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I grew up in a small town in Canada that had junior A hockey and major junior, which two just high levels of junior hockey. So I grew up every Friday, every Saturday going to home games, and then as a result fell in love with just the NHL and the team out west, the Vancouver Canucks, before moving to Minnesota here. But yeah, man, choose a team, start following them as much as you can, and then expanding from there. If you need a site to watch anything, if you need a site to follow any stats, Hockey DB is a great one for individual stats as well as elite prospects. Did you watch any of the NBA All-Star Game? Not even 1 second of it, Andrew. From upstate New York, found you from your MMA channel. Hey, let's go, Temp letter. Let's go. Well, I mean, you got options in the New York area. Both at the NHL level and the AHL level. So it just depends if you want to go against the grain in your market or not. But obviously, like Islanders, Rangers, Devils, all in that area. Not necessarily upstate New York, but in that area. Rangers have been a little bit of a mess this year, but they got Matt. If you like fighting, I'll say this. Matt Rempe, Temp letter, look up Matt Rempe, R-E-M-P-E. He's this young guy who came up from the Western Hockey League, and he is one of the last of the enforcers, and he plays for the Rangers. I think he has more penalty minutes than he has ice time. It's truly a beautiful thing. Andrew, I don't know why people keep thinking that like Hank and I have a beef. There's no beef there at all. I don't know what he's been saying, but like on my end, we're all cool. So there's nothing to apologize about. I didn't know shit about watching hockey 3 months ago, and I started watching this channel. Let's go. Yeah, dude, now Scott's watching all the international games, and whenever I watch wild stuff, he's in the stream, or he's even supporting some of the other podcasts, which is cool to see. I was a fan of the Atlanta Thrashers, but after they moved to Winnipeg, I went to the New Jersey Devils. And for the love of God, don't go for the Leafs. They'll break your heart. Yes. Do Dude, temp letter, thank you so much again for the donation, man. Really appreciate it. 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Nice hit by the Swedes. 4:02. Americans get it back. Up the left side. Sweden still has it. Sweden, instead of making the shot, was trying to work his way in behind the net. Maybe looking for a backhand pass right in front of the crease. Sweden still has it. Shot! Rebound! Looking for the rebound shot is Sweden here. They get it back to the line. Sweden holding it. Man, Sweden having a tremendous period here. Raymond sends it out front. No one there to get the shot, and the Americans, they flick it into the neutral zone as they get a change. 3:17. Also, by the way, temp letter, if you're still here, the World Junior Hockey Championship, every Christmas and New Year's, like around Christmas and New Year's, is one of the best hockey tournaments ever. By the way, the U20 International Tournament, that's one to really get into as well. All gas, no breaks, with all top draft eligible or like recently draft picks for the National Hockey League. And that's best on best U20, which is just, it's such a great tournament. 3 weeks long, starting the day after Christmas until the 3rd of January, I think. 3rd or 4th of January. 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Sweden. Hey, no problem. Happy to talk hockey anytime on City Life or this chat. Fighting's my thing. So box lacrosse, hockey, calcio storico, and MMA, man. That's my shit. Hell yeah, hell yeah. 2 minutes. And if you want just straight up hockey fights, LNAH is the fighting league of the world. Sweden up the left side. Centering it. Can't get the shot off. 1:53, and here comes the Americans. Shot! That goes left and wide. That was a beautiful cross-ice pass for the Americans. Shot coming to the left of the Swedish netminder. Ahrens. 1:32. Dump and chase. But there was no chase for Sweden as they changed. Here comes the Americans with speed down the middle. Shot, glove down, but unable to hold on to it was Ahrens. And here comes the Swedes. And that will be offside. But yeah, I would say if you want to pledge allegiance to an NHL team in your area, obviously like Islanders, Devils, Rangers, I don't know. You could go against the grain and just fucking be an Ottawa Senators fan. That would actually be a lot of fun. This channel in Locked On got me deep into hockey again. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for, like 5 years, just over 5 years. Hoppy joined around like a year in, I think, to me doing it. A year and a half into me doing it. And then it's kind of grown into a little network here where we have multiple shows that drop every week, streams. The channel's kind of its own thing with like pizza, beer, reviews, and just craft brewery content. Sweden, final minute shot! That goes right and wide. Dude, I mean, what I take away from this second period is Sweden's pressure. They're doing everything but scoring. And they're even... Okay, they're still trailing in shots, but barely now. 21-17 for the Americans. Beautiful blocker save by Ottinger as he read that. 41 seconds on the clock. Face off by Sweden. And they lose it as the puck trickles down the length of the ice. 35 seconds. We got another rush here by the Swedes. They're up the left side. Send it around. Hi from Sweden. Hey, what's up, Stefan? Thank you so much for joining. Your boys are up a goal in a fun game. Despite them not being able to stamp their ticket to play the United States again on Thursday, they're playing for pride, and this second period in particular, they've been on it. Sweden, centering pass, puck bouncing. They couldn't get anything off, but for a last rush of the period, what a rush that was, and that'll do it for period number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Unable to score are either of these teams. Both of them got another power play. Neither of them were able to capitalize on that. And honestly, I would say that Sweden had the better second period. The last 5 minutes of the first period, Sweden looked good. 15 minutes for the United States, they were playing better. Yay, it's boring but fun. It's a great game. Yeah, I mean, this overall, I'm guessing you're also an NHL fan, Stefan. This is such a fun little tournament. Despite, I think, a lot of people being critical, myself included, of it being kind of in the middle of the season. You know, I was scared it was going to be like that ridiculous World Cup that the NHL put on with, you know, Team Europe and Team North America prior to the regular season, where you knew no one was going to give 100%. This tournament, I was scared that they weren't going to give 100% either, but they're giving like 110%, which is really cool to see. Nice. I figured. So I'm very impressed with this. It's definitely a win for the NHL, and they've solved the All-Star Game issue. Because gone are the days of the NHL All-Star Game where they actually tried, where like Owen Nolan's freaking picking his shot as he scores his hat trick, right? This, I think, is going to get guys eager to play versus having a upper body soreness excuse not to. How are the Utica Comets? So they're an AHL team. So they're minor leagues. They're the feeder league to the NHL. They're actually the New Jersey Devils farm team. So a lot of the New Jersey Devils prospects will develop there in Utica. And you know, they used to be my Vancouver Canucks minor league team as well a few years ago, which it didn't make sense at all, them being all the way in Utica and Vancouver being on the west coast of Canada. And when players got injured, they couldn't even send guys that they called up there in time, which is why things have changed, but I digress. They're a solid franchise for an AHL team. Fans are insanely passionate. I know one of the oh god, what's the radio station? K-Rock? I believe it's K-Rock. Down in Utica. And I know one of the Utica Comets play-by-play guys and radio host. K-Rock Rain, baby. He's a good friend. So yeah, no, Utica, again, not as high level as the National Hockey League, but especially if you want to go to games and just like get hyped with like, you know, a local team, Utica, they've got some really, really good fans. So where are you at? I'm in the United States. I'm from Western Canada originally, but I live in Minnesota now. Actually, the Sota pod is one of the reasons why I moved to Minnesota. It's kind of be on the ground here. I guess I found myself a team, and you know what? It's fucking A, based, and B, fucking sick that your team is not necessarily an NHL team, right? I'm sure like you'll watch some NHL games and be like, holy fuck, like yeah, I can see the skill difference and speed difference, but like the AHL is a good league. It's still a tough league. There's a lot of fights in the AHL still. Minnesota has a lot of Swedes. Yes, Philip Gustafsson, Joel Eriksson Ek, Marcus Johansson, who's not playing in this tournament, and then Jonas Brodin, who's one of my favorite defensemen in the league right now. The only defenseman who can shut down Connor McDavid and match his skating freaking backwards, of all things. But yeah, so there you go. That's cool because Reaper Jones, temp letter, he's a Devils fan, and you being a Utica fan, New Jersey, the franchise, it's well represented in the chat here. Well represented in the chat here. All right, so my takeaways, like I said, guys, was Sweden coming back here. Sweden coming back, not necessarily to dominate, But everything that they were doing wrong in the first period, they've pretty much righted. They've pretty much fixed. Again, 17 shots to 21. The face-offs, not so much. The Americans have been dominating them in the face-offs all game. It's not, I mean, shit, man. At the end of the first period, the Americans were leading 68% in the face-off dot. Now it's only 62, but still, that ain't that great for the Swedes. Neither team is successful in the power play. Both have gone 0-4-2. 12 hits for the Swede, 14 for the Americans. So the Americans they had 11 hits in the first period, only 3 in the second, where the Swedes only had 3 in the first. They have 12 and now total, amassing 9 in the second period. Both teams have been blocking shots, but the Americans have been giving away the puck a lot more just due to that Swedish pressure. 16 giveaways for the Americans, 7 for the Swedes. Yeah, and I think that's all the stats pretty much from that second period. So, fun game, man. Fun game, given that the Americans came out strong in the first and were kind of leading the charge for most of that period. And then the Americans it was the opposite. Instead of dominating, or at least being the better team for 15 minutes of the period, they were only the better team for about 5 minutes of the period in the second. And then Sweden kind of took over. First period, Chris Kreider scores in 30 seconds, by the way. In the first 35 seconds, first shot by Rowinski. Pad save, and Chris Kreider puts it home. So Chris Kreider's opening up the scoring for the game, getting the first one for the Americans. Assisted by Zach Werenski and Jack Eichel. Second goal of the game, Gustav Nyquist from Erik Karlsson and Victor Arvidsson 13 minutes later. 13 minutes later in the first period. And then at the end of the first period, with 50 seconds remaining on the clock, Jesper Bratt, assisted by William Nylander, that short pass where Bratt was able to put it home from the slot. So Jesper Bratt, Gustav Nyquist for Sweden, Chris Kreider. In his first game for the Americans in this tournament, he scored just 30 seconds in for Team USA. Thursday's going to be fun, man. I can't believe we have to wait 2 more days. But you know what? Give the boys a little bit of a rest. I get it. Give the boys a little bit of a rest. I get it. You know what's crazy is Crosby's leading the tournament in scoring, and apparently he's nursing an injury as well, which is nuts. It's crazy, man. Like, I know McDavid's like the best player in the league. I know McKinnon's probably surpassed Crosby as like one of the better Canadian players out there right now. But like, man, until he retires, Crosby is the best player in the league. I'm sorry. He may not be putting up the same points as McDavid, but look, watch them beat the Americans on Thursday, and you want Crosby on your playoff team more than McDavid. I'm just saying. No, it's truly incredible to see, especially with how banged up he was. I'd say like at the middle point of his career, like almost 10 years ago now, where people were talking about an early retirement given all the concussions and injuries that he faced, only for him to have the longevity that he's had, or that he has had. Not to mention the dominance that he's still showing in the league. It's truly amazing, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly amazing. All right. We're going to take another break here. Keep the comments coming, though, guys. We are totally interactive. We're totally interactive with you guys. And again, if you're new to the channel, we do live play-by-play, commentary, reaction, and, of course, live interaction with all you amazing folks in the live chat. Vote of the poll question. We'll check on that on the other side as well. And we will be back live Thursday for the finals. I'll be back live Wednesday for Wildly Informed with your boy, Brett Marshall. And then on the podcast side of things, which we post every full podcast or stream the podcast on this channel. We also post clips of every podcast, but we also have every single podcast on audio form as well. So wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, it doesn't matter, all the other random ass podcast apps or feeds, just look up the Sota Pod. We are on there and we drop episodes every single weekday. College hockey, NHL, Minnesota Wild prospects, NHL prospects, hockey analytics, and more. So check it out. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe on your audio podcast feed so you never miss out on a show. And hang tight, as we will be right back. Refill your drink, refill your snack bowl, as we will be back for the third period on the other side, and we'll check in on the poll question as well. Sweden leads the Americans by one lonely goal. 2-1 for Sweden. Third period coming up next. We'll check on the poll question as well. Don't go anywhere. Smash that like button and subscribe, and we will be back after this quick break.
People like, you're making a hef now? It's like last year, I'm like, yeah, that one's called the 11th hour. It's kind of just a cheeky play on that. We kind of release it later than most people towards the end of the summer. I wanted to kind of be in there in that cusp between summer and fall, and now with summers lasting longer and longer these days, I mean, we're in September and it's 80s, it's still a viable option.
Central Division team that I love to love, the Nashville Predators, of course.
back live here on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. That's right, the Sota Pod YouTube channel. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter/X, come over to YouTube. The Sota Pod link is in the comment on this post in which you were watching right now. That Chris Kreider interview that we just were left with, by the way, was the most hockey player-ass interview ever. Just got to get pucks in deep, shots on net, north, south, east, west. Thank you. Oh, man. Sweden leads the Americans 2-1 going into the third and final period. Brady Tkachuk also left this game as well. So the Americans playing without some of their big guys, playing without some of their energy players. Obviously, like, if there's any inkling of, like, okay, I'm a little hurt here, a little banged up here, you're going to take him out of this one. You're going to keep him fresh for Thursday and just fresh overall, given that, like, win or lose, the Americans are still playing on Thursday, right? So if this was the game on Thursday, Brady Tkachuk would probably still be in this game, is what I'm trying to say, right? But he left the game in the second period as well, which explains why the physicality dropped for the United States as well, as he was getting like 2 hits per shift. No joke at times in the first period. Far from my 5-2 win for the United States prediction, but having said that, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, this is how the Americans played the Finns. And then what happened in the third period? Now I know the Americans are up going into the third period by 1, if I'm not mistaken. But boom, 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 they're able to score like 2-3 quick goals against Finland and pretty much took the wind out of their sails. So we'll see who starts strong. We'll see who scores, if anyone does, in this third and final period coming up here. The interesting thing is the Americans started off the first period strong in the first 15 minutes, kind of started to fade a little bit in the final 5 minutes. I mean, less them fading, more Sweden really coming into their own and starting to play the way that we saw them play Canada, for example, although it was a slow start for them in that game as well. Second period, 5 minutes of better play for the Americans. Then it was all Sweden. So, like, it was basically like a flip-flop where the Americans played way better hockey for the first 15 minutes of the first period. Sweden played way better hockey for the final 15 minutes of the second period. Let's see what happens here in the third. 75% on the deserve to win-o-meter, which is what really matters. There you go. There you go. I'm still trying to figure out the most confusing stat ever in sports, grit percentage. I still don't get it. Shout out to BFL. That Letterkenny skit is spot on. Man. I guess the new season of Shoresy is not available in the States yet. It's available in Canada, but I think we got another month till it airs in the States. All right, third and final period, ladies and gentlemen. Puck has dropped. I said we'd check in the poll question. We never did, so let me bring it up here. Sweden with it. In the American zone, fighting for it in the corner. Smash that like button if you haven't already, guys. What are you more excited for? Olympics, next 4 nations? 53% of you say Olympics, 47% say next 4 nations. Post again. Sheesh. So that's the third post for the Americans in this game. The post has been friendly to them. Gensel sets up center. Jeez. 19 minutes on the clock. Here come the Americans again, spinning through center, left side. Checked on the wall, but sent that around. Blue line. Lucas Raymond chopped that puck, but the Americans get that back. Shot from the blue line. Doesn't get through to the netminder. Near side corner hit, and we're going to have a penalty. And it looks like it's going to be on Adam Fox. So Sweden going on the power play. For the third time, they're 0 for 2 so far on the power play. Oh, man. Eichel was so close. He was so close. That was barely on the numbers, man. That was barely on the numbers. Anyways. Buyum is the next Adam Fox, but better book it. I mean, Adam Fox is a lot bigger than him too, eh? 2 minutes of power play time for Sweden starts now, but the Americans win the face-off. And Sweden, left side. Puck trickles out. Sweden back to the blue line. The Americans have had a really good PK as well, guys. Aggressive as hell that just forces Sweden to make a play. Even when they probably wanted like a second or two to just take a quick look of where everyone is or just employ one of their plays. It's like the Americans are already forcing whoever's at the point or getting in lanes in front of the circle. And a nice job by the Americans sending this back down the ice. Okay, he looks bigger. But okay, yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, you don't want to be the guy out there with the $1 million legs and 2-cent brains. 17:55. Oh, nice giveaway. I should say bad giveaway by the United States as Sweden got it. Shot was wide and the puck trickles all the way back down into the Sweden zone. 45 seconds on the clock. Hey, what's up? McDavid is stinky. In the first 30 seconds, Chris Kreider scored. Rowensky came in. Nice shot by Rowensky. Went off the pad of Aaron's, and Kreider put it away in the first 30 seconds. 35 seconds, yeah. Hedman has it. 28 seconds. Shot by Pettersson. That hits a stick and goes up but not out of play, but Sweden holds on to it at the blue line. Up the right side. Pettersson pass backdoor, trying to poke at it, and Ottinger covers it up with 17 seconds left. Yeah, turnover. Puck came out from the corner. And Forsberg, yeah, he was trying to dig at it. 17 seconds on the power play. 17 seconds on the power play. And the Americans come away with it. They clear. 10 seconds. Last rush for Sweden. Up a man. And they'll go 0 for 3 if they don't score here in the last 5 seconds. Which they dumped and chased, so I highly doubt they do. That is it for the penalty or for the power play. Adam Fox back out there. And here comes Brock Faber for the Americans. Sent it to the center. Americans able to hold on. Brock Faber with a shot that doesn't get through the lane, but a rebound. Another shot. Puck stays in play. Hedman sends it up the boards. And Sweden's going to change. Boldy, he dumps it in. Around the boards. Goes to center. USA tips it in. USA, front of the net, shot. That goes right side of the net. Oh, Arvidsson evaded a big hit, but Sweden has it. Little drop pass, shot. Nice save by Ottinger. Puck, rebound, left side, behind the net now. Battling for it. And Arvidsson keeps this in. Puck goes to center. Shot! And that goes left and wide. Sweden sends it behind the net. Back to the blue line, holding on to it. Up the right side. 15:36. Shot from the blue line. And that goes wide. Backhand rebound. Unable to get that on net. 15:28. Sweden. Shot from the blue line. Backhand rebound. The puck. How did that not go in? How did that not go in? The backhand trickled in front. Puck was just sitting there. No one could find it. Oh my goodness. Sweden with more than 50 seconds of control time in that offensive zone as well. And both teams are going to get a change. Sweden Still has it in the American zone. USA regains possession, but they're trying to evade their end. They finally do. Gensel. And the puck is turned over. Trickles back to the neutral zone. US have it, and they're just going to dump that bad boy in. Chasing Sweden. They regain possession, but send it across the boards, and Team USA now sends it back and around. USA to the blue line. Shot from the blue line. And that goes off a stick and up and out of play. Nice shot by Sanderson. Sheesh. Man. This Swedish team. And I know, like, there's been a couple posts, or 3 posts now for the Americans. So, like, this could be... I mean, this could have been a 5-2 game, my prediction. Just saying. But still, cannot take anything away from how good Sweden has played in the second and third period. Where when I thought the Americans were going to keep that same pace that they put on in the first period. But again, without Brady Tkachuk, that's huge. Without both the Bash Bros at the end of this one. Sweden trying to skate their way over the line, but USA showing their physicality, making them work for it. USA has it. Nice little pass by Brock Faber, but could not get that out. And Sweden holding the line, still keep that in, making the Americans work here to get this puck out of their zone. 25 shots of 20 still for the Americans. Sweden keeps it in, looking for reinforcements. Backhand to the slot. Nice check by the Americans. And here they come. Kyle Connor with a nice shot blocker save by Aarons. Sweden battling behind the net, and Sweden gets the puck back. Leo Carlson with speed up center. Oh my goodness, breaking ankles, but he takes a hit and his helmet goes flying. 13-15, and here come the Americans. They dump it in. And nice checking by Boldy. Was able literally just to muscle his check down and separate him from the puck. Sweden, though, send that puck out into the neutral zone, and this is going to be bouncing around and go out of play. Yeah, Leo Carlson with some nice nifty moves, and then takes a nice hit by Jack Eichel, knocking off his helmet. I'm excited to see Leo Carlson break out in the National Hockey League. I mean, he hasn't really done it yet. He's looked good, and there's been flashes of it. But I can't wait for him to, like, really be one of those top guys for Anaheim. All right. TV timeout here, guys. TV timeout. It feels like this game is just flying by. Man, this has just been such an entertaining tournament. And, like, imagine if playing Canada was on the line, right? Like, take away the points, right? say this was just like, it was treated as like the semifinals, right? Imagine how, like, much more intense it would be, mostly because the Americans would probably keep, like, Brady would probably play the rest of the game. I don't know. You'd imagine maybe Austin Matthews would be in it, right? But again, the Swedes playing for pride. I didn't think they were going to hold anything back, and they aren't. Not at all. Not at all. Especially when half the team is, like, either fighting the flu or literally shitting their brains out as we speak, watching this game probably on their phones or tablets on the pot right now. Like, it's that bad, apparently. It's not good. It's not good. All right. Let's see. Has Sweden... Okay, they're starting to get better in the face-offs as well this period. They were as low as 32% at one point in this game. They're at 42 right now. Almost matching the Americans in hits. And the Americans are up to 20 giveaways, man. 20. Jeez. I mean, it's hard to score if you're the Americans if you just don't have possession. You're constantly on defense, and that's essentially what the Swedes have been doing to them this entire period. All right, we're coming back from TV timeout here. They're just showing us some highlights. I don't know, honestly, like, yeah, that goal was awesome for Kreider. I think the most electric moment of the game, though, I'm watching the Sportsnet feed, and that's what they're showing right now, was that Leo Carlsson nifty move breaking ankles, then getting friggin' laid out by Jack Eichel. All right, nearing the halfway point of this third period, 12:45 on the clock, and the Americans send them in. Dude, if Russia was in, they would have won it. Simple as that. If Russia was in, they would have won it. Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky is your 1A, 1B. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Not to mention just, like, Ovi. Like, the Russians in the NHL are so good right now. That, like, Ovi would be on the third line. 12:20. Hoppy was contesting me on this one. I said, bring the Czechs and Russians in next time. He said that it's not deep enough for the Czechs. So in that case, I said, fine, just bring in Russia. Shot from the Americans, rebound, unable to get it. And instead of the four nations, we just call it the nations. They are weak at center. Bro, when you have those wingers, the position doesn't matter. When you're that deep with talent, the position itself doesn't matter. First or second, but like, dude, Russia is so good that it's a 1A, 1B. There isn't a first or second line. It's just two lines that will absolutely destroy every other team's line. That's how good they are, right? So he would be on 1A or 1B. It doesn't really matter. They're both the first line. And you could argue that their third line would also be their first line because Ovi would be on it. Dude, the Russians would stomp on Canada and the Americans if they're in this nation's tournament. Nah, dude. Puck moving heavy, I guess. I don't know. I don't think Canada or the United States would have even had a chance against them if they were in this tournament. Let alone poor Sweden and Finland. 11:44, and the Americans actually are on the power play here, guys. Sorry, missed that. And a nice job by Sweden poking that one down the length of the ice. Olympics, I mean, I guess Russia, we don't know if they'll be able to compete. It will be interesting to see who they bring because there's always like 2 or 3 like KHL stars on the roster as well. Shot, but obviously in this tournament, it would just be the NHL guys. That goes right and wide, and here comes Sweden. Sweden shorthanded. Beautiful right pad save by Ottinger. Oh my god, and the Americans came back with speed as well, and Sweden, freaking their back check was beautiful too. Able to switch some bodies up here. Man, if Ottinger didn't challenge that, he wouldn't have gotten that save. Sounds like they're cleaning up the Ukraine stuff in the next couple of months. That's what I heard too, and Brett and I were talking on the last Wildly Informed podcast that nothing in 2025 will change, but 2026 and 2027 is hopeful. 10-26. And great PK for Sweden, man. The Americans really didn't have any opportunity here. And overall, I would say the Americans have had the better power play. There was an opportunity there to go cross ice, but getting that stick in the way was Sweden. Coming into the middle, cutting into the middle, here's JT Miller with a shot. Doesn't even get through. And Sweden's going to clear, and that's going to do it for the power play. We are at the halfway mark of this third and final period. Sweden still leading by 1. We haven't had a goal since the first period. But yeah, return of the NHL players, return of Russia and Belarus. Like, fuck, man, I cannot wait for the Winter Olympics. The show earlier, they had Kaprizov, Malkin, Kucherov, which would be bonkers. Like, holy motherfuck, right? But dude, like, Malkin's getting up there in age too, or like, he might not. I guess he's one of their centers, because, like, pure centers, like Sean said, not as deep. Nice shot from Hughes and a save by Aarons. So I guess Malcolm, even though he's older, would still be one of those top guys. But I mean, just think about how nasty that line would be. So good, man. So good. And like, obviously, I want them to lose. Like, I want them to lose. When they play the Americans, I root for the Americans. When they play for Canada, I root for pretty much like, you know, if they're playing anybody else other than shit, other than I guess fucking. The Czechs have been pissing me off beating Canada at the World Juniors lately. But yeah, they're usually, unless they're playing Belarus. Fuck Belarus, dude. Hockey team. Is Demidov a wing or center? He is a winger, of course. For Olympics, though, like, there might be just this KHL absolute stud center who's like, I play on big ice and and don't fight anyways. So that's the thing. Like, Russia for like Olympics is always so cool because the roster's not always NHL players, and they're still fucking good. I just feel like Cap and Cooch would just be playing with folks, and Malkin just creating space down the center. Man, I love watching Malcolm play. I liked Malkin more than Crosby growing up. And I was a Canadian, and I'm a Canadian. I was a Canadian. I lived in Canada. But having said that, I was more of a Capitals fan, and I rooted for Ovi more than Crosby. That kind of made sense. I was a Capitals fan, but I just liked Malkin's games so much. I don't want to say better because it wasn't better, but I just loved the way he played. Hey, what's up, Sean? Just got home. How are we not dominating this? Well, the roster is very, very thin. So Matthew didn't play. Matthew Tkachuk didn't suit up. Austin Matthews didn't suit up. Ottinger's in net, although he's been fine. And then Brady Tkachuk left the game in the second period. First 15 minutes. The U.S. scored in the first 30 seconds, and they were kind of dominating. Well, being the better team the first 15 minutes in the first period. Then Sweden had a really good final 5 minutes, scoring twice. And then in the second period, it was all Sweden, man. The Americans looked good for the first 5 minutes, and then it was all Sweden the rest of the second. And Sweden's been honestly dominating this, despite 29 shots to 20. Despite the Americans leading in shots, Sweden has been the better team in this third period as well. Yurov is a center. He's a center who's been playing a lot of wing, though. I feel like that just happens a lot in Russia. We see, like, it's like center wing, and then we'll see what happens in the NHL. Not with all of them, obviously, but like Kuznetsov was as an example too. He played center coming into the league and then became a winger, kind of. Yes. I was sending clips to Jay and Mateo of guys just getting their legs broken every round. Honestly. Oh, a nice shot and a glove save by Aarons. Still safer long-term than power slap. Just a lot more painful. Jeez. Yeah, that was going wide anyways, but gloved. They're fucking with him, though, because they don't want him to leave. Yurov? Yeah. Well, I mean, he signed... They could have forced him to sign a 2-year deal. He only signed a 1-year deal, but, like... we went over that on the Wildly Informed show anyways. Like, though, it's less about them fucking with him, the KHL team, and just, like, the different... Like, the rule change with the KHL, right? Like, when the season ends, I think it's extended a little bit, so he just... If his team makes the playoffs, he's not coming over this season. Because if his season makes the playoffs... I mean, I don't know if the Wild will bring him in during a playoff run. Like, if the Wild get past the first or second round, I don't know if they're bringing in Yurov for extra enforcements at that time. Unless they're injury decimated, then it's like, all right, kid, let's see what you got, go. Theo fucking Fleury style with the Flames, right? Although I think he played like half the season. But anyways. 8 minutes on the clock. The Americans win the faceoff and keep this in the Swede zone. And a pass in front of the net, and unable to tuck that home was the Americans. But I'm very confident we'll see Yurov in the National Hockey League next year, or at least in the Wild system next year. Tons of nasty leg steps. Definitely safer long-term power slap, a CTE speed run. Can Russians be black aces? Kaprizov couldn't play in the Vegas series when his season ended because of NHL rules. I don't think so. 728. And puck bounces off the skate of Nylander and into the American zone. USA calming things down. $704. $652. Sweden gets it back. I guess, like, I just looked it up quickly to see if there's, like, a black and white rule on it, and it must be, like, a fine print. Or, like, section A or B or whatever that talks about this, because... And... Oh, man! Brock Nelson in on a partial break shot! That goes left and well wide! Man, snake bit. I thought it was almost a lock that he doesn't play, so yeah. His team would have to not make the playoffs. And the Wild would have to have cap space. Which both things are thin. Another shot by the Americans. The Americans are really picking things up here in the final 10 minutes of this game, by the way, guys. I was saying that Sweden pretty much dominated all of the second period. This one's kind of back and forth now, but Forsling coming in, drops it, center shot! And that goes wide. I think the Wild gets Zeev and Juracek in the lineup. The Wild would have the best D-core in the league. Well, I mean, Zeev is young and Juracek's young. I mean, I think they could potentially, but I'm never going to stamp a team to have the best defense when both of the guys are essentially rookies. I think contracts go until May 31st too, unless KHL team lets them sign her. That's it. Yes, that is it. So he would still be well, no, and that's what I said. I think that's what I said when you first brought it up, was that the KHL's extended their season a little bit longer, and thus the playoffs, you know, kind of are simultaneous with the NHL playoffs now. So, like, even if his team didn't make it, you'd only have a handful of games with the Wild, assuming they make the playoffs and assuming they would, you know, they're not going to play him much in the playoffs. So, I wouldn't get my hopes up this year, but that's probably a good thing. It probably means, like, Wild are locked and loaded for playoffs and don't need him, and that his team is leaning on him for playoffs as well. But I mean, last year there was rumblings of around this time of the possibility of him coming over this year, and then obviously some things happened. Not bad things, but just the scenario played out how it did, and he signed one more year. Yeah, I'm excited. I really think he's going to be one of those guys that come in and don't have too many growing pains, you know? They should have player rentals like they do in soccer. It seems fun just to pay to have a guy for the end of the season he can go back to his old team. Dude, they should allow that from just like guys from other leagues as well. Would Murat be on the team in Russia? No. Nope. He was good enough to be on like the U20 team, and he won a silver at the World Juniors, but no. Man, the Russians are fucking deep, man. There's guys in the KHL that probably would have got the spot over him. As much as I love Murat Kuznetsov, maybe, I mean, you know what? Maybe next year he, you know, because this year he showed that, like, he is a defensive forward in the National Hockey League, and he's one of the better defensive forwards in the National Hockey League. If that skill that we see flashes of turns into more offense, and even if he just becomes like a 30-some point player, right? Okay, maybe Russia brings him because I see the value in that, right? Or Kaprizov says we're bringing him because we're pals, but I don't think Kaprizov has the Crosby-Kunis relationship. 5-19. I honestly think they'd bring Yurov over him. Talking Olympics. 5-07. And the Swedes dump it into the American zone. Great last 5 minutes. For Olympics, based on what I've seen right now, probably Yurov. But that's just because he has that offensive upside to him. Yeah. But again, I love the way Murat plays, and I think you need those type of players to win championships, but I feel like you need those type of players to help you win more Stanley Cup championships versus, you know, Olympics, which are physical. It's just a different breed. It's just a different breed. It's more of a pace than a grind. 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and Sweden sends this puck back in the American zone, and we're going to have icing. Final minutes, guys. Final minutes. Can the Americans force overtime or get 2 quick ones? Again, Sweden playing for pride at this one, because even if they come away with the win here, they aren't playing Canada on Thursday. And yeah, Sweden has come back in the faceoff dot quite a bit. 17-22 right now for the Americans. And a shot by USA that hits the stick and goes up to center. Neutral zone. Sweden going to quickly get a change. Sweden intercepts that pass. 1-on-2 here up the left side. Shot! Shoulder, rebound, unable to get the rebound, but pokes it. Beautiful double blocker save by Onger. Double blocker save. 2 shots. 2 shots. Sweden still has it. Forsberg, whose hand was hurting him as he blocked a shot with his hand earlier in the game. He got checked up against the boards, and the Americans trying to take it back, but Sweden gets it at the line, and they send it right back in. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Sweden making it tough for the Americans to even have a chance to pull the goalie here. USA sends it back into the neutral zone. Sweden gets it, and the forechecking by the States are able to force that puck all the way down. And here comes the Americans. They send it around the boards. He has had a great game. He's had a great game. I mean, the goals from Sweden were very, very nice goals, too. That first one being that snipe. And Sweden comes away with this bouncing puck at center. They get into the American zone. Just working harder here. Just skating through them. Nice job by Slavin. He got up to Jack Hughes. Cross pass for the Americans. Shot way out. And not covering it up here is Aarons. He's going to continue play. That was a long time to cover it up, though, but no whistle by the ref. So, yeah, you'll play it. And right side Americans. Sweden forces it into the corner. Jonas Brodin takes a hit, but the American bounces off of him because he's fucking Jonas Brodin. Absolute tank. I mean, what a shift here by Jonas Brodin, just shutting everything down that has come his way. And I think this puck went out of play. Man, block shot though there as well. But what was that? Adrian Kempe blocked that one. Man, shoulder save, rebound, kick save, and then just freaking stick save by Ottinger. 3 big saves in a row here. And, alright, the U.S. doesn't pull the goalie just yet. Freaking Sully, Hines, and Torts, man. Like, what a fucking trio behind the bench. I will say, though, Sully and Torts were Vancouver Canucks coach back in the day, and they didn't really do much. They were both canned after the season, but still. Sweden is weird, right? They just kind of stick around and won't let the game get away from them. They just don't put a full 60 minutes together, as they would say. It's like there's moments in the periods where they, I don't want to say take off, but kind of take off. Don't play their game. And they are like, they're not physical, but like they finish their checks and they can play tough as well. It's just not physicality first. And the Americans had some good opportunities there. One of them loses a stick though. And puck goes out of play. We're going to have a face-off in the Sweden zone. All right, here we go. Here we go. 1 minute and 22 seconds on the clock. U.S. goalie pulled. They're up a man. And again, this is for pride for Sweden, but still. I thought for a second Jack Hughes was doing his best friggin' Mahomes impression. But instead he was just waving for a towel. I don't know if it's the hair or just like their expression, but like he does look like the white Mahomes. All right. Here we go. Here's that big face-off, guys. I mean, you got to imagine that the Americans would have probably put Hellebuck in, would have, you know, had Austin Matthews. Brady would still be playing if this was like a semi-final game, right? And if the winner of this played Canada. But because of the way the points played out, and maybe the NHL will adjust that as this Four Nations develops so that there aren't situations like this, right? .120 on the clock, and the Americans get the puck back outside of the circle. Shot and save, a rebound, and Sweden shoot, 4 out, just missing the net. Jesper Bratt iced it. He was close, but no dice. And we're going to have another face-off in the Swedish zone. So the puck hit the blocker of Aaron's, and then, oh man, that was so close to the net. That was so close to the net. All right, to the right of Aaron's. 1 minute left. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, come over to YouTube. 1 minute. Eichel with it. Back to the blue line. JT Miller back to Eichel. Eichel tried to find his man back door. Unable to make that pass. Back to the blue line. Right side. Jack Hughes. Top of the circle. Jack Hughes back to the blue line. Shot! That goes wide. Pass back up in front. Hughes fanned on the rebound, and Sweden gets it out of their zone. Sweden trying to get that puck to the net. And, oh, damn, that goes wide. And we're going to have another face-off in the Swedish zone. Oh, wait, no, this one go up and out of play? Why are they making a change? Hold on. Oh, because it wasn't icing. It wasn't icing. It went up. It went up. I was going to say they're making a change. This can't be icing, but that went up and out of play. So this was actually, this faceoff will come in the neutral zone here. Yep. 29 seconds on the clock, and Sweden wins the faceoff. Key faceoff win. Sweden trickles this one into the zone. U.S. goaltenders between the pipes. Skates off now. 18 seconds. Final rush for the Americans as they pull Ottinger. Shot. That goes right and wide. No one can get the tip. Americans send this back on net. Corner. Back to the blue line. USA shot. Doesn't get through the lane. Sweden tried to get it out of the line, but holding the line. American shot. That goes right and wide, and that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Sweden in the game that doesn't matter, in a game where even though they won, they don't get to play Canada on Thursday, but Sweden wins this one for pride. The Americans had quite the decimated roster as well, with both Kachucks not being in the game the whole time. Austin Matthews not in the lineup, but they still had a really good team. They still looked really good at times. Sweden, not without adversity as well. They didn't have Philip Gustafsson in their lineup. They had a couple guys out as well due to the flu. So good game nonetheless, and a scrappy game for Sweden. Sweden win either of their 3 in OTs. They're in the final. See, that's why I think maybe this point system will be like rejigged a little bit, just so like this doesn't happen again, right? Because like this feels this, and again, from an American perspective, you're like, shut the fuck up, Isha. And honestly, from a hockey fan in general, like I want to see the rematch, whether I was Canadian, Finnish, American, Azerbaijani, or Latvian. I want to see that Canada-USA rematch just from a hockey fan perspective, not to mention the rivalry. But it does feel empty. It does feel a little silly that, you know, Sweden wins in this kind of semi-final game and don't stamp their ticket anywhere. Well, I guess they get a long weekend now until the NHL starts back up, I guess. Cool to see them have success in this one, though. I think going 2 points for a win would end up in weird 3-way ties. Well, maybe just have a bracket then. You know what I mean? Like, just have a semifinals. Maybe have an extra game. I don't know. Maybe the players, the NHLPA would push against an extra game. Yeah, great job by the Swedish goaltender Ersson coming in. 30 saves. Yeah, Werenski had a great game, and yeah, Bratt. Get ready for Thursday. USA is going to get the championship. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. But yeah, anyways, final game of the Four Nation Face-Off, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday. I will be live covering it. Don't you worry. And tomorrow I will be live. No, Wednesday I will be live for Wildly Informed with Brett, and we'll talk about this tournament. We'll talk about, well, pretty much just the tournament and a few hockey news pieces from the world stage as well. I think they want these tournaments to be like 5 games max, Olympics 6 max, if you make it a medal game. True. And it's gonna continue to develop. They're gonna continue to polish it up, and especially if they add Russia, right? And then they make it just the nations tournament. Then maybe they can jig it a little bit and try to avoid something like this. But then they'd have to add another even team. Anyways, I don't know. If they add Russia, keep the points like this, I guess. If they add Slovak, or if they add the Czechs as well, then maybe we change things up. I don't know. Anyways, that is it for us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I'll be back Wednesday live at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern for our NHL Minnesota Wild Hockey Analytics show. And then Thursday, we will be back 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for Canada, USA, Four Nations Face-Off Final, which if it was anything like the first game, man, it's going to be entertaining. Now, I don't think there's going to be 3 fights in 9 seconds, but I do think Torts gets fined some way, somehow. That is my prediction for that game. Torts is walking out of that game, win or lose, with a fucking fine, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I think. Sweden comes away with this one, guys, in a game that they're just playing for pride, essentially 2-1 over the Americans. Smash that like button if you haven't already, guys. Support the channel. We just posted a ton of new videos. We just went and recorded some content with our friends at Brixworth Beer Co. Brixworth Brewing Co. My bad. They have some of the best wings in Minneapolis. They have some of the best pizza in the cities as well. And their beer is top notch. We sat down with one of the owners and we got to try a bunch of food, try a bunch of drink, talk about just the brewery and how they do things there when it comes to their Detroit style pizza and wings. And we got some more content dropping on that throughout the rest of the week as well. And we always like to add a little Minnesota Wild flavor to some of the conversation. So check that out if you haven't already. But that is it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining. Back Wednesday for Wildly Informed. Back Thursday for another watch party. And until then, like I said, smash that like button, subscribe. Check out the videos that we post daily here on YouTube. And we will see you on the next one. Sweden walks away with the win, though it doesn't even matter. Canada, USA rematch on Thursday. We'll see you guys there. Peace.